Good evening. This is Gary Epp with the late news for Thursday, April 12th. We have just received new information about the prophet Jesus of Nazareth, who arrived here in Jerusalem last Sunday. All week long, he has been hailed as a liberator by the crowds who have gathered for the religious festivals. Tonight, we have seen an official response to these developments. The high priest's office has issued an arrest order, and a Roman battalion has apprehended Jesus. For a report, we go to the Garden of Gethsemane.
This is Abdul from JEW News reporting to you from the Garden of Gethsemane just outside of Jerusalem. For the past 3.5 years, this Jesus of Nazareth has been stirring up some dissension throughout our nation. Tonight he has finally been arrested. This arrest took place in a calm manner as Jesus left peacefully. Initially, though, it looked like massive fighting was about to erupt when one of Jesus' followers drew his sword out and cut off one of the Roman soldiers' ears. Jesus was taken to the Jerusalem city jail, where he awaits trial before Pontius Pilate. Frederick had his ear cut off, but many are saying that Jesus miraculously healed it. This is Abdul, signing off for JEW News.
Good evening. This is Gary Epp with a special news bulletin on tonight's arrest of Jesus of Nazareth. We reported earlier that Jesus was being taken directly to Pontius Pilate. We have now learned that he was taken to the residence of the high priest to be examined by the religious council. The hearing is still underway, behind closed doors. Our news team has a report from the high priest's courtyard.
Courtyard, where its very unusual night trial has been taking place. Former High Priest Annas has been questioning Jesus about his activities. We've seen members of the Sanhedrin arriving for a formal meeting. Sources say that many witnesses are against Jesus, but he said nothing in his own defense. Evidently, Jesus has been harassed for giving a disrespectful response. We will not be seeing Jesus because there is high security at these proceedings. However, there is a bystander who has been noted to have been seen as one of Jesus' followers. In fact, here he is now. Excuse me. Are you a follower of Jesus?
No, I'm not. Excuse me.
Excuse me. Do you know Jesus is God?
No comment.
Excuse me. I have one more question. Do you mind? Do you mind? Excuse me. Well, as we can see, the crowd is not very sympathetic at these proceedings. To recap, if you haven't already been here, Jesus has been arrested and charged with blasphemy by the high priest. Is this possibly the end of the Jesus movement? We'll find out. Let's look for Jesus now. Back to you, Gary.
Good morning. It's Friday, April 13th, and this is the Jerusalem News. I'm Gary Epp. Jesus of Nazareth has been on trial ever since his arrest last night, first before the high priest, and then before our Roman governor, Pontius Pilate. During the trial, a noisy crowd has been gathering. Many have been calling for Jesus to be put to death because he claims to be the Son of God. The trial has just concluded, and Governor Pilate has announced his verdict: immediate execution by crucifixion. For a report, we go to Governor Pilate, where we have a reporter standing by.
Governor Pontius Pilate's courtroom. I'm waiting for him to come out. Governor, how do you feel about today's incredible events?
I'm shocked and upset at the attitude of these Jewish people. They seem to show no sense of reason. I offered to give back their king, Jesus Christ, and they refused. Instead, they demanded that he be crucified. I cannot believe this.
How does it feel knowing that you've put an innocent man to death?
I wash my hands of that. In front of the multitude, everybody saw me. I wash my hands of this man's guilt. His blood does not rest on my head.
Rumor has it your wife has been having strange dreams. Tell me about these dreams.
She's in a home seeking psychiatric help.
Thank you.
I've heard that Barabbas has been released. Oh, here he is now. Excuse me, Barabbas. How do you feel being free and knowing that someone is to die in your place?
Why should I care? I've got my own life to live. If my freedom means a loss of life for someone else, well, I can't think about that. Besides, he must have done something wrong if all these people want him dead.
Well, did you ever expect to be released?
Oh, leave me alone. I've got places to go and people to kill.
Oh, Gary, I guess leaves us with the question, where is the justice? Back to you.
Thank you for that update on the trial of Jesus. We have just discovered that Judas, one of Jesus' close followers, has committed suicide. He was the one who led the arresting party to Jesus last night. Sources say that Judas returned some money which he had been given for his information. Judas was last heard calling himself a traitor. This is Gary Epp for the Jerusalem News. This is Gary Epp with a special news bulletin on this Friday afternoon, April 13th. At noon today, Jesus of Nazareth was executed at the hill of Golgotha, just outside Jerusalem. As witnesses have waited to hear his final words and watch him die, many unexplainable things have been happening. Strange cries from Jesus, a commotion in the temple downtown, an earthquake, reports of open graves and resurrections. For a report on the crucifixion of Jesus, we go to Golgotha.
Witnessing here is the crucifixion of Jesus Christ on Skull Hill. The previous events of the day, he was taken, stripped of his clothes, put in a king's gown with thorns on his head. He was mocked, spit on, and whipped, almost to the point of death. Then he had to carry his cross again to Skull Hill. About halfway, he could not go any further, and thus a boy named Simon had to carry it the rest of the way. When he got there, they drove nails through his hands and mounted him on the cross in between two robbers. Surely this is not fit for a king to die. Excuse me.
Yes.
Did you see the crucifixion?
Yes, I did, sir.
Could you tell me about it?
It was truly amazing and awful. First there was thunder from the sky. The ground shook. There was lightning. It was so powerful. The holy cloth in the church split right in half. It was just totally amazing.
So did this change you?
Yes, it did. I used to be a guard. And I used to be a Roman guard.
You mocked him.
Yes, I did. Yes, sir.
So what are your views now?
I've totally changed my ways. Now I know that Jesus is truly the Son of God.
Thanks a lot. As you can see, the power that this crucifixion had on the people, the remorse, the sadness. And here we have Mary Magdalene. Can you tell us what happened?
It was awful. Like, people can be so cruel. They mocked him, they beat him, and he was my hero. I was a prostitute, I was nothing, and he made me something, and now he's dead, and I don't know what I'm going to do.
It's okay. As you can see, this is a very traumatizing day in Christians' lives. This has wrecked the lives of people. Now, this is Russ Lyons reporting on the crucifixion.
Good morning. It's the Sabbath, Saturday, April 14th, and this is the Jerusalem News. I'm Gary Epp. Our lead story this morning is about Jesus of Nazareth, who was tried and crucified yesterday. Jesus' body was removed from the cross before the Sabbath. The body has been bound and placed in the tomb of Joseph of Arimathea. Our reporter is at the tomb site.
Right where Jesus Christ was laid. Yesterday, Jesus Christ was taken from the cross, bound, and here he was laid. Excuse me, is this true that this Jesus Christ is in this tomb?
Yeah.
That's who they say it is.
I should know. I put him in there.
I hope you don't mind me saying this, but you seem to be taking your jobs quite lightly.
I take my job very seriously.
Do you believe that this man is the Son of God?
Who's to say?
No.
Well, the earth shook when he died. Then again, he did die.
Do Jesus Christ said before he died that he was going to rise in 3 days. What are your feelings on this?
A little scared and apprehensive, but the disciples may try to break him out.
An army of disciples couldn't break him out of here.
What would you do if he did rise?
We would be executed.
We'd be out of here, one way or another.
This is Sean and Calvert reporting from the tomb.
Good morning. For Sunday, April 15th, this is the Jerusalem News. I'm Gary Epp. There are rumors this morning that the tomb in which the body of Jesus of Nazareth was placed on Friday is empty. Our news team has been sent to the tomb site. We are ready with a report now.
Tomb site of Jesus of Nazareth. There seems to be a lot of confusion. The stone has been rolled away and nobody knows where the body has gone. I have beside me 2 of the Roman centurions who were there at the time the body disappeared. Let's see if they can shed some light on the situation. Excuse me, could you tell me how the stone was rolled away?
Well, this might sound hard to believe, but there was a huge earthquake.
And an angel appeared.
And it was bright, like really bright.
And he rolled the stone away.
And we couldn't stop it.
Did you see the body?
It was gone.
Like vanished.
We have to go and report this to the chief priest.
Oh, well, here is one of his friends, John. John, can you tell us what happened?
Well, Mary came running and told Peter and I that the body was gone. So we ran to the tomb and looked in, and the body was gone, but the grave clothes were still there.
What do you think happened?
Well, the angel said that Jesus had risen and that we'd see him in Galilee.
Thank you, John. Well, that's all the news we have from the tomb site now. Back to you, Gary.
As you can see, we have conflicting reports about what happened to the body of Jesus. Some of Jesus' followers don't know what happened. Others report sightings of angels and even a resurrected Jesus. Obviously, the guards who were responsible for guarding the tomb against any mischief are very concerned. We have 2 reports.
Walking down McPhillip Street with Jesus Christ. They did not know it was Jesus Christ when they were walking on their way to Emmaus, but it was. They found this out later when they were eating with him at the nearby McDonald's. Now this is more proof that Jesus Christ did arise.
Mary Magdalene has just informed us that she spoke with the risen Christ. She hung around the tomb after Peter and John left, and Christ actually appeared and spoke with her. But that's all the report we have for now. Back to you.
Seen history in the making this week. From his first public meetings in Galilee over 3 years ago until his ride into Jerusalem on a colt last week, Jesus has drawn the attention of all Israel. He has been called by many names. Our religious leaders called him the Son of Satan. His followers called him the Son of God. Governor Pilate executed him as a troublemaker. It seems that a chapter in Israel's life is closed. Jesus has been crucified. But has he risen again, as his followers say? If he has, the story has just begun. Jesus of Nazareth may yet be found to be Jesus the Christ, as he claimed to be. This is Gary Epp. Shalom.